All right, all right. I know it's messy on the bench, but that's okay. All right, guys. So today's video is going to be a big one. Whoops, wrong one. We're going to be doing the wiring for the throttle quadrant for the stepper motor and for the potentiometers and the encoder. The one I kept calling a rotary potentiometer the other day. One of these. It's called an encoder, and I did forget to print the gear. At least I believe I had it. I might have thrown it away on accident. I did a lot of cleaning up not too long ago, and I don't know, somehow I must have threw it away. I must have thought it was for something else. But we're going to take, this is wall 1, we're going to take this off, because remember, like I told you, we can't solder the potentiometers with this wall on, or the outside wall, the number 5 wall. We can't solder any of those, or not even solder, I mean run wires. So let me get this out. I am going to put those back in with the spacers here in a second. I need to put, excuse me, that was loud. I need to put this on. We need to put our, goodness gracious, y'all. Stepper motor, goodness. Jeez Louise. It's called the stepper motor, guys. I need to install it because we need to run its wiring. Now, the good thing about the stepper motor, as I just dropped a screw on the floor. Yay. The good thing about the stepper motor is that it has a plug on it. So the good thing is for its wiring, we can at least, you know, it's easy to take off and redo and all that. Let me go ahead and get this wired in, or not wired in, but screwed in. We're not going to worry about that stuff right now. That was from the last video. We're just trying to do the wiring right now. So, to run the wiring and all that stuff is what I'm trying to show you guys. How we're going to do it. Because you have to run it a certain way. Let me not tighten that up just yet. In order for it to fit and not interfere with the controls. Because, you know, if you're pushing your throttles and you start cutting wires or grabbing wires, you know, it's going to lead to what's called a nightmare. So, we don't want to have that happen. So, I'm hoping in this video to show you guys exactly how we're going to run this, or how it needs to be ran to prevent it from causing interference at all. So, we're going to use zip ties, we're going to use hot glue, we're going to use all kinds of stuff. Because from his pictures, I'll show you. Let me just get this on here to an extent. This is the middle wall. This is just wall number 2. So technically this is wall 3. Let me just use these to help line it up. That's all we're using it for. So what you're going to do, which here, I'll just get this out of the way. So this part sits right here. So just right, sorry. Trying to get this where I can show you. So just right there. Whoops. Let me get everything just out of here. It's kind of getting annoying in the way. So it sits right here. So what he says to do, which I have my brand new wire or cable for my stepper motor. And I like how he did this because it is genius to run it like this. So the stepper motor is going to go right here. So we're going to run the wire here. We're going to go up over this big arch and then just bring it straight out this hole in the front. So these wires are going to be annoying at first just because oh, it's not big enough, which we're not using this clip, or yeah, we're not using this on the end anyway, so you need to cut the wires. So we'll go ahead and feed the wires through. Whoops. Go ahead and feed the wires through. And we'll get it up here. So it's just going to run like this. We need to make sure we get it the right way. So the pins are towards the front, so it goes like this. So your cable needs to go like this. So the black wire being outside would be fine, just like this. So give yourself a little slack to put these wires in, just so you have some room in here. Because this is your travel area that you're worried about, and you're also worried about wires. This is your travel area up here, obviously where your throttle levers move in and out, or move up forward and backwards. This is an important area. You don't want wires running down, and then down here, you don't want any wires down here either to catch in the detent system. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some hot glue, and I'm just going to glob it in there a little bit and get these covered in some hot glue up here to secure it down. So I'm letting my hot glue gun heat up. As you can see, I mean, look how much wire I have. So I've got tons and tons and tons of wire for this. So I'm not worried about you know, having some excess up here. You want some excess up here. I'm going to fill that in just a little bit. It seems like much, but the good thing is hot glue doesn't hurt anything. It's not going to cause any issues. It's just there to hold this down. So I'm just trying to get it in some important parts. I'm trying to get it, there we go, to finally get to the plastic. Phew, I know it's a lot. Alright, let me turn that off. Let me get this kind of pushed down some, just like that. So use a tool, don't use your finger. Use a tool to try to get in there and get that stuff pushed down, because you don't want to burn your fingers. Hot glue is hot, hence the name, until it cools. So you don't want to fry your fingers doing it. So we'll let that dry. It's got plenty in there. Obviously, it's probably got more than enough. I got a bunch up here to hold it down. It's just to prevent this from moving and flopping in there, like when you're moving it around, installing it, and all that stuff. We just don't want it moving everywhere. And I gave excess down here, so we have excess to plug into the motor, because you don't want that to be tight either, just, you know, just because. You just don't want it to be that tight. One thing I'm going to do real quick is find out where my self-tapping screws are. And I'm going to screw these walls together so we can look at this potentiometer and how we want to run it to make sure it's not going to be in the way. And so what we'll do for that is, just as a temporary thing, we'll just put this through. Let me get my left lever. That's the right one, sorry. The left one. And we'll just put this through here. Oh my goodness, I grabbed the right one, didn't I, y'all? Jeez Louise. The left one, because the gear faces us. And so we'll put it in here. Whoa. Just as a temporary thing. So let me do it just like this. Sheesh. It's going to flip-flop everywhere because we don't have anything really holding it. But we're just checking stuff out. We're not doing permanent mounting. I'm not plugging the motor in either right now, because we're going to do that during the Mobiflight and all that jazz. So we're just trying to look at this from the side. Okay. There we go. Goodness. So let's Let's take it all the way back. Whoop. Okay, so this comes up this far. That's all the way reverse max. So, for the wires from this, we can't go down here, but we can go over here. What we need to figure out, honestly, what we're going to do, we'll probably go from here to this hole. I know he says not to use this hole, but let's take a look. If we can't use the hole, we'll find out here in a second. No, we can use it. Yeah, there's plenty of room to go from here to over here. And we'll probably do the same on this side to come in and go out this hole, or at least go next to it. Because there's plenty of room when we do that. There's plenty of room. I can go this way and go over here out that hole and keep the wires tensioned to prevent it from interfering ever. And I'll show you what I mean here in a minute. So we'll go ahead and take this apart. Maybe. Oh, there we go. Take it out of reverse and we can definitely take it apart. Alright, so let me move that over. I'll take this stuff off. And what we're going to do for wiring, we're going to take a lot of wire. We're not going to be shy with our wire. Let me see, is that moving? Oh no, it's in the hole. It's okay. I'm going to bend these up just a little bit, just to give us something better to work with, so we're not pointing down towards the plastic too much. All right, let me go grab some self-tapping screws, and I'll be right back. Okay. What was probably, I don't know, a few seconds for you guys was like 30 minutes for me. It took me forever to find these dang things, because of course they were hidden under something. Goodness, right? All right. So we'll get this put together just so we can kind of have a better view of what we're doing. Oop, hold on. Don't do that. There we go. Let's get this in here. Put the other one in. Just gently get them put together. All right. So now those are together. I mean, you could plug this in if you wanted to. I'm not going to right now because we don't need to. So we got this wire ran. Now we're going to get our wires for, oops, sorry, all the way over here. I just got a new box, so I'm going to have to open it and get it ready. But I use 26 gauge silicone wire with a 6 core. Hey, look, it even comes with a shrink wrap that I don't need, and zip ties. I don't need either of those, but it's nice if you don't have them. All right. I got 100 foot of each because I ran out of my, I think it was like 25 foot. Super quick. So let me get these open real fast. And we'll start doing some soldering. But what we're going to do, the cool thing about these potentiometers is this is your sensor wire in the middle. This is your, this can be your ground or your hot, and this can be your ground or your hot. And what I mean by that is it just depends on how it's reading. So, if it's reading backwards, you can swap the wires. If it's reading correctly, obviously you can leave it how it is. So it's pretty cool. It doesn't hurt it. And you just have to make sure you're consistent with it. Like, don't put voltage to the signal wire. It shouldn't hurt it if you just do it once, but try not to do that if you can. So we'll get this all wired up though, and then I'll start. We'll get after the programming and stuff as well, because that's going to be an important video for us to do to make sure everything is working correctly. But we'll do that after we have everything put together, excuse me, fully, then we'll start doing the programming. So we're going to do this wiring, make sure it's correct, or make sure we have it all tucked in and out of the way so it's not going to cause any interference with anything. And so that way it's not going to, uh-oh, we don't want that. So that way we can make sure it's not going to ever get caught or cause any issues, because the last thing you want to do is, you know, be in the middle of a flight and all of a sudden your throttles are jammed, or worse, you cut the wires because they got pinched and now you can't even finish your flight and you're just sitting there sad. So, and trust me, that would be horribly sad. So we're going to make sure we do this right the first time. So take your time. Do not rush any of this. Do not just plow through it. Follow along with me, and let's just get this done correctly. Let me steal one of these for this, just because I have a ton more of these screws. I'm just going to do it so I can make sure that's 100% secure. Nice. That's all good. All right, so what I'm going to use is I'm going to use black for the ground now that I have some. So I'll probably go black over here. Well, no, let's see, because it'll be positive. Yeah, so I'll go black on the left. We'll use red for our power, and then we will use white for the signal. That's just something I've always done. Now for this, we know we don't need a ton of wire, because it's just the boards are going to be mounted up here. So I believe this all mounts somehow like this. I can't remember how. So we know we just need to really get enough wire to go over here, through, and then out. Like I said though, give yourself extra. Don't be scared to use a lot of wire. Sorry, I was just making sure the camera and everything was still good, because I noticed my video yesterday, I apologize, I accidentally bumped my head into the camera and caused it to skew. So let's do this. Let's get our soldering iron ready. Let me move my hot glue gun, as I don't need it now. I'll get my soldering iron tip. I was doing the heated inserts the other day, so we'll take these out, or take this out. Make sure, okay, that's good, that came off. And make sure you set your soldering temperature to what you're comfortable with. You don't have to go crazy high. I solder at about 700, but that's me. I've been doing it for a little while, so I'm kind of used to it already. You got to be quick with it though. You can't be playing around if you're going to do it that high. 700. 701. All right. So let's get some wires ready. So let's take this. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just lay it there. See how much we're going to need. I'm going to go down here to the edge of my table just to make sure I give myself extra. Because the good thing is with the extra, you can just cut it off and save it for small wiring later and other stuff. So try not to waste your wire unless you only have a small amount that you're cutting off. Obviously, throw the little bitty pieces away. It's about right there. And then we'll get our black for the ground wire, and we'll run it together, or run it in. So right about here. Perfect. So these will be our first 3 wires. We'll go ahead and strip them and get them ready while the soldering iron heats up. We'll get our helping hands over here and get them ready. Whoops. Oh my goodness. There we go. Get this one ready. Perfect. Alright, so what I like to do is I like to take mine and just twist them. Doesn't matter which way you twist them. I just twist them just to keep the wires together when you're tinning them, and so that way they're not, fraying out all over the place. You don't want to be soldering something and your wire looks, like this. It's not a good thing. So just take it and twist them up, just like that. So it's nice. It almost looks like a single core, right? So we'll move that out of the way just for a second. We'll bring our helping hands in and we'll tin these wires up. So we're going to make sure we get our exhaust fan on. So let me get it in its position. I know I've got a lot of tools on here still from the other videos. Let me move some of this stuff out of the way because it's not important. All right, let's get this up here. Make sure we clean our iron off. And then we'll get some solder out. So, I'm getting excited. I don't know about you guys. I'm getting really excited to start having this thing wired up. I did a flight earlier from Louisville to Atlanta, testing out my overhead with Mobiflight after I worked with Sebastian over there and we implemented some fixes on stuff to get it to perform correctly and stuff. So that was fun. I don't have my whole cockpit built, like I said, but I had the overhead on the floor and I just was flipping the switches and stuff, making sure everything was working, just so he could push an update to Mobiflight to allow people with TM, I think it's 1637 7-segment displays. It fixes those, and it also fixes a lot of long messaging errors in with Arduinos and stuff in Mobiflight. So my overhead panel, not by choice, I mean, I bought the thing, but I didn't know they were doing this, has one Arduino Mega running the entire overhead panel. And if you know anything about the Airbus overhead panel, it's, I don't even know, it's like 100-something LEDs and switches and stuff, so there's a lot going on there for it to just have one Arduino. So that's a good thing that we got that fixed, and it's just good for everybody in general, that Mobiflight just keeps getting better and better. I love it. But I'm excited because like I said, I was doing that flight and I have a modified Thrustmaster throttle quadrant that, it gives a lot more realistic inputs, but it doesn't have this whole motion of movement. It's like from there, which will be, let's say, is the reverse, to maybe right here, maybe a little farther is, the whole motion of movement on that thing. And it's fantastic for what it is. Like, if you're just a desktop simmer, that thing is amazing. For what it is, Thrustmaster really did a good job on it. But, when you're trying to build a home cockpit, you got to step it up. So we'll get some solder on these, just to get them nice and tinned up. Beautiful. I need to fix the other side. The right side, for some reason, it all went underneath, so I'll try to get some up top here. Sheesh. It just all went underneath. There we go. Push it up top. There we go. Just pushed it up to the top. Make sure it's not connected. We're good. Get these hairs out of here from the hot glue. Uh-oh. Got a little chunk. That's fine. It ain't hurting the glue. That was from yesterday. Alright. So let's do our hot wire first. Oops. Just get it liquid. Get it liquid. Maybe. Hold on. It's kind of being stubborn. Whee. Hold on. I'm being twitchy all of a sudden. So. There we go. Let me clean this solder up that fell while we were doing that. It's going to melt into the plastic, of course, because, it's just PLA. Well, daggum, we might not be able to get it off. So, there we go. So just be careful with how much solder you're putting on here. You saw me, I accidentally put way too much on this right side, trying to get it to build up on the top. Man, dang it. Stuff really stuck. There it goes. This over here in the gap I'm not going to worry about. It's going to be hard to get. Let me see. I might be able to get it with my pick. There it goes. Alright. It's not really going to interfere with anything. It's just ugly. Alright. So this wire's done. We'll move it all the way over here out of the way. We'll do our signal wire. Whoop. Let's make sure our iron's clean. Let's get our signal wire in here. Good. And then we'll get our ground wire in here. What we're probably going to do is we're probably going to put some heat shrink on here. Whoa. Alright. So those are good. Let me... I just had it. Oh, here it is. Let's go ahead and put some heat shrink on there. Just for security. Just to keep it on there. Which, though, I mean, they all look good. They're all soldered really nice. They're not going to come off. See, you can pull on them pretty hard. But I'm going to do it just in case when we move. I don't want them shorting on each other. So we're going to find the smallest piece we can use. And we're also probably going to cut it down. But I'm going to put it on here and see how much we're going to cut. So we'll get it up there. We don't need a lot. We just need this much. Okay. I wonder... That should shrink enough. Let's see if this one fits. So I hope you guys can see. I'm just going through my... Oh, that one's actually a lot tighter. But that's a good thing. You want your shrink wrap to fit good. Yeah, that fits. Okay, how far do we need? So from like right here. So about that much. Okay. I can get like 4 pieces out of here. It's always better to go a little long though. Give yourself that wiggle room. It isn't going to hurt anything. So we'll go ahead and put these on. We'll use our soldering iron to shrink it down because it's not going to be shrunk down that much. And you don't want to use a lighter. See if we can get this up on there. Oh, this one might be a pain because of all the solder. Let's see. It's being a pain right now just because it doesn't want to go up there. Get up there. Wrong tool. Sheesh. That one, okay. We might come back to that. I might not just put any on that one because it's going to be by itself. As far as like no heat shrink on it because that is being stubborn. Let me get this on here. This one on. See, that one went on. But like I said, it's because this one I put way too much solder on. See that? And then it just instantly heats up. Actually, dang, it actually melted that a little bit. So I might have to... Well, we're just worried about covering the bare metal, so that's fine. Again, none of this is going to be seen, but if you want, I mean, definitely make it as professional as you can, for sure. I'm trying to do really good. Easier said than done sometimes, but it's okay. It just shows you guys everybody's going to make make mistakes doing this. So that's good. We'll lift it up a little bit. Just get under there. Get under there. This one will be fine. We'll just heat shrink it up enough because it's going to be the farthest one, so we're okay. Just adds a little bit to it. So, remember what I said we're going to do? We're going to go this way. So we'll probably hot glue these right here, just so that way they'll stay like this. So let me get my hot glue. Turn it on, clean it off first. It's got spider webs hanging off of it. Not actual spider webs, guys. Alright, let me move this out of the way. Set it to the side for now. We're going to use it again. Which something we might actually do with it. Is to use it to we might heat shrink them together. Like, you'll see what I mean. We'll let this dry before we start moving it. Let me turn this off so it's not running the whole time. Trying to cool it off some. All right, let that cool. You see it's already starting to kind of harden up. So we'll let it finish. I don't want to move it till it looks like this almost, because I don't want to move it out of the way and then the glue doesn't set. It's looking good. Yeah, it's starting. Okay. Yeah, okay, we're good. All right, so now what we're going to do, because we saw that this shouldn't get in the way, we actually could put a zip tie right here. I don't think anything screws into this side piece. Let me double check though, right? Let's open this up. So see what I'm saying about how he says to run the wires up here and then down? That's what we did on the inside. We ran them up and then out. For the potentiometer wires, he says not to do that. Let's see. We need to see. Yeah, potentiometer wires do not pass through the hole. They just sit over here. And he has them zip tied, so that's what we're going to do. We'll take some zip ties. And we'll take it, and we'll just wrap it like this. I'm in a cross pattern. Just get them all through. Get this snug. You don't need it to be crazy. We're just holding wires in place. So get it around, get it snugged up. And then we'll flush cut it. Boom. Whoops. Geez, sorry y'all, I just knocked over my dang hot glue gun. Alright, so now that is done. That's routed up to the front. He twists his wires together, which is actually really clean. I like that. I'm not going to do that right now, but that is clean. We are going to go through all of this, though. We're doing all of this. I'm just going to show you guys how we're going to place the LEDs and how the wires go. I figure you guys can wire these up yourselves. I will show you, though. We're going to go through everything, guys. Like, don't worry. We're going to go through everything. Trim indicator wire goes over here. Oh, I see what he's saying. I'll show you what he means when we get to that point. All right, so that's good. Let's place our outside wall back on here and make sure, yep, nowhere near it. Not even going to interfere at all. So perfect. So that's out of the way. So this side is completely done. As far as like the potentiometer wires go, we've got the stepper motor wires out of the way. So now, if you wanted to, actually, if we want to, we can actually put these walls back together. Just to kind of help hold everything together, because when we go to, when we do the LEDs, you're going to need to have this thing together. Or, you know, getting there. So, let's take these screws. I think these are M3 by 10s. Let's make sure we get, whoops, don't go in crooked. There it goes. Now it wants to go in straight, okay. Which, let me get a third one. I've got a bunch of them. Like I said, what are these? M3 by 10s? Yep, M3 by 10s. The one I dropped earlier, I still have no idea where it went. I did look. I told you, man, the stuff in here, it hits this garage floor and it just ricochets. Alright, so that's good. That's all good. I need to see. These are fine. I wonder if it's these walls are bowing. We'll see. We'll definitely see once we start getting into Mobiflight. Alright, let's get our other set of walls. Which this is going to be the bigger set to do because we have to do the potentiometer and we have to do this rotary encoder. So we got this and the rotary encoder. So let's go ahead and take this apart. This is walls 4 and 5. Whoa. Set these screws aside. Get this all undone. Eventually. Jeez. Alright, so this is good. We know how that's going to go. And then this rotary potentiometer, actually I was wrong. I thought it went this way in. It goes out because it needs to touch the trim indicator wheel. The big white wheel that I showed you guys yesterday. So it actually goes like this. Put the washer on. Shake it on, maybe. Sheesh. Get our securing nut. And I believe it's a 10 as well. It is. And we will secure it, which I'm actually going to get my hand wrench. We're not going to crank it. Here it is. And we're going to snug this up just a little bit more because this is going to be its permanent spot. So, whoops. Just a little bit like that. So now that's in. We're not worried about the button. The only thing we're worried about is this. Oh, and I'll show you. I do have my gear as well. Push that on. Whew. Which it is a tight fit, but it should be. So see now it can know exactly how much, where the trim is. So that's perfect. That's what we want. And we're soldering these 3 pins down here. These 2 are for the button. We don't care about them. You can cut them off. You can leave them. You can do whatever you want. But they're not needed for what we're doing. Yeah, okay, that's all the way down. But that's it. That's perfect. That's on there. All right, so we'll wire this one up first. He does say in the documentation that these wires have to go a certain way. The trim indicator wire goes over here. So it should be, I believe this hole right here is where it's going to feed through. So let's take a look. Oh, daggum, sorry, all the bug just flew at my ear. Let me double check everything. Camera, everything's good. Okay. So let's take a look. If we put this together, just like this, he says the trim wires go here. Whoops, I caught my disengage button wires. So if it goes here, how would you route that back around to the front? Up through here? Well, I know the lever goes over here, and it's going to have some space, so we're probably going to do it different. I'm probably going to run those this way over here to meet with the potentiometer, but not down. We'll go up here and meet down here and then go this way. I think that would be the better way of doing this, because like we had before, see, we can just come this way and go out. So I think that's what we're going to do. Let's see, are these wheels stiff like the other side? No, but I mean, the other side also has a stepper motor on it. But these are good. Interesting. Oh, I did notice, though, that there are... I noticed this in the other video, but I think now I know why, which I actually need to go cut this screw down some more. We want everything flush like this. This screw is not, so I need to make sure I go do that. But this has holes in it to hold this bolt in. So that's something very important. So let me see. I'm going to tighten that up, which it actually is okay. It's a little too tight. But what I'm going to do, once I figure out where I put my ruler, here it is. We're going to measure this real quick, and I'm going to look at the other side too. We're going to just take a break just for a second. That needs to be cut about 2 to 3, actually about 3 millimeters off. So that one's 3. Well, you know what, guys, I apologize. I'll do that after this. Let's just get back to the wiring. Okay, so let's do this one first. The good thing is he does show us in here how to wire these right here. So the way he shows it is like this. And he goes out, ground, and out. So we're going to have 2 signal wires, obviously forward and backward, and then we're going to have a ground wire. So for this, I'm going to use white and blue for my signal wires, and then obviously black for my ground wire, which all the grounds are going to tie in at the end into one, and I'll show you guys how to do that. So for this, we're going to go blue over here, and we're just going to give ourselves some room. Remember, the 12 volt has to wire in here. So as long as we're out of the way, give ourselves some extra. So we'll probably go about right here. Alright, y'all, sorry about that. My phone storage got full. I had to delete some old videos. Okay, so I gave myself some extra on the blue. I gave it a little bit more than what I showed at the end there. We're working on the white now. So I'm just holding my finger on the pin, you know, kind of close enough. And we'll give ourselves some extra. So we'll go about out here. Almost cut my finger, being crazy. Then we'll do our ground wire from here, the middle pin. And this is about right, all the way to out here. Alright, so now let's get these stripped. We'll get the helping hands over here, and we will get these tinned and ready to go. And the good thing about these is you know, when we go to wire this up, you'll kind of know what it's coming from with how many wires and stuff it has. Or, you know, different wires. So, but if you get confused as to what's what, take you some painter's tape or some masking tape, wrap it around the ends of the wires and make it long enough to put a label on it and just, excuse me, and mark what it is. Say potentiometer, you could say blue right pin, you know, BW for blue wire, could be the right side, WWE, right? I'm just kidding. WW could be for the left pin and stuff like that. So there's always ways to make your life easier. So always do that. Make your life as easy as possible as far as doing this stuff like these electronics and everything. Because it can get confusing really fast. Like this throttle quadrant, thankfully, isn't too complex as far as the wiring goes. But man, some stuff can get extremely complex. Like if you're wiring up FCU or, you know, all kinds of stuff like that, you're going to start getting really, really complicated wiring. Like I follow the 737 SIM guy. That splattered on my finger. And I made one of his very old products, 737 MCP, I believe is what it's called. Sorry, I haven't flown a 737 in forever. And it's fantastic, but man, I had to really read through his wiring diagrams and stuff several times to get it working properly and stuff, and I didn't realize you had to daisy chain all the grounds together and stuff. So it's been a while since I've done that, but it was a really good project to learn on, and it was fun. I used it for quite a while. It was really cool. And now I'm working on this A320, and I'm loving every minute of it, which he actually is as well. So go check out his Patreon and stuff. And check out Giovanni's other stuff too on his Colts page. Like he made the engine start panel, which is when I decided to buy this. And I've already built that. I've already got it. I did the configuration stuff because I was excited, and it's a small panel. But I will break it down completely, and I'll make videos for you guys as well, so you guys can see how to do that. So now we're going to do our blue wire. Just get this all heated together. These are honestly a little bit easier to wire up just because of the way the pins are pointing up and away. So you just hold your iron on there. Get that solder melted. Let it melt on the wire a little bit. And boom. That's done. And then we'll do the white wire, the last signal wire. Try not to hold your iron down too low though, because you will melt through this plastic. And then you'll have to print you another wall. And boom. And again, for these, I almost sideswiped my soldering iron. So for these, again, I'm going to put some heat shrink tubing on there. Should just need the one. Cut it up into some small pieces. Whoa. That thing shot across the area. And we'll take this. Alright. So now we'll go with our blue wire first. And we'll just run it down. Maybe. There it goes. Sheesh. Sometimes this stuff just wants to fight you the whole way. So let me hold it up so we can all see, hopefully. Just get it down as far as you can. That one actually went down really far, which is great. Then you just take the tip of your soldering iron. Just heat it up real quick. Don't hold it on there. Just heat it up. Down the sides just a little bit. And there we go. That one's good. Sorry if my head bumped. I think the camera's good though. Do this ground wire. And again, this isn't for anything vital. It's just to make sure that when we go to route these wires, if they were to bend and touch, they're not going to short each other out. And there we go. Try to do a little bit of the side, but don't get too close. Jesus, stuff stinks. And then we'll do our white wire. Go ahead and get this all the way on there. Hope you guys can see. I apologize. I'm trying to make sure everything is in here. It's hard to do with two hands, but you can see. Use your chest. There we go. Blow on it a little bit because that is hot. It's going to be hot. Alright, now I'm going to put it up there for now. I want to see something. Yeah, see, so these wires come through here, but he created this space for that. Your spacer should keep everything away from these wires. What I'm going to do, though, because we can, is I'm going to bend them in. Just like that. And now I'll take them and route them this way. And I can't do anything with them now until I put this wall on, but we can't put the wall on until we do this. But you see how I'm going to do it. I'm going to do a zip tie here. I probably won't do one here, but let's see if we, whoops, let me get it out of there. If we were to come down here, sorry guys, I'm trying to do this. If we were to come down this way, it'll just sit on the back of the potentiometer, but you know what? We're probably gonna put two together and just make sure it clears right here and get those cinched up to here, and then we can cinch them over here with the potentiometer wires. I'll show you that here in a little bit. Let's go ahead and get this stuff going. Those are straight already, so I'm gonna leave them. Let's go ahead and heat these up and tin them, and then we'll get our wires ready. And again, remember for these, it's this one or this one can be positive, and that's your signal wire. And depending on which one you put the power to is how Mobiflight and stuff will read it. I'm going to put a little up here this time. Just kind of help spread that solder. Keep it all up on the top, not anything crazy. See how that smoke's moving away from me? Woo, I love this fan. Should have bought one sooner. But I didn't, unfortunately. So again, I'm going to use a white wire. For this one, remember we're going this way. So don't get confused. We'll go this way. This again, I'm going to give myself access because they got to all meet in the middle. I know this thing's not huge, but I'm going to give myself plenty of working room. We pull this out. There we go. Get our red wire. I'm going to go inside with this. Give ourselves... Look at how it's staying. That's cool. Give ourselves some excess. Boom. And then we'll get a black wire, which is our ground wire. We'll see if it parties with us. I'm just kidding. We'll just see if it's... Ah, see? Didn't want to sit, punk. You guys ever seen that Dirty Harry movie? You feeling lucky, punk? Did I fire 5 shots or 6 shots? You want to find out? Good movies, man. Good movies. All right. Here we go. Let's trim our wires, and then we will tin these as well. Doesn't matter how much you cut. You can always snip it down if you feel like it's too much. Or, I mean, how much you reveal. You can always trim it down if you feel like it's too much. Like my red one, I accidentally put a lot out there. So what I'll do is I'll wrap it up, I'll tin it, and then I'll cut it. And the reason I'll tin it and cut it is because if I cut it now, it's going to shoot little bitty wires all over my mat and garage and stuff, and I don't want to really deal with that. So what we'll do, grab my iron, is we'll put some solder on it, and then we'll cut it. Let it heat up, get it all the way down there. Beautiful. Whoa. Let's try to get this ground wire pulled out. I'm glad that worked. That on there. Alright. Now let's get this out of the way. Why isn't it? Oh, my wires were like wrapping up on stuff. Alright, let's remove that. Let me see my red wire. Trim it down about halfway. This white wire will trim off a little bit. There we go. See that? How it just bounces one piece instead of a bunch? It's a lot easier to control. Okay. We're going to go left to right. So we're going to start with our hot wire, our power wire. Oop. So let me get this stuff melted. Nice and tight. We'll do our signal wire. Whew, you gotta be careful how close you get up there with your bare hands. Because this silicone wire will get hot. Alright, so that's good. Whoops. Alright, let's get some heat shrink on here. And I think that's it for this part of the wiring, other than getting everything connected. Oh, I'm looking right at it. Let's get this out. All right, let's cut it up. Just need about 3 pieces. Try to get them as even-ish as possible. I got 2 of them pretty even, but the third one, that's okay. The third one will go on the back. We'll put the shortest one on the red, because again, it's reaching over the other 2. As long as they're significantly covered, it will be fine. So we'll just put this one down. Boop, 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 boop. All right, let's watch our wires. Oh, and another reason why I use this silicone wire is because you see how flexible it is? It's so much easier to use this stuff when it can freely move and get itself where it needs to go. So much easier. Go ahead and put this one on. Because if you use stiff wire, another thing too though, the stiff wire, if you flex it too much, it'll break this silicone wire. It ain't breaking. I mean, you can if you're like back and forth a bunch, but like for the most part, just normal use of you getting it together and putting it where you need it, nah, you're not gonna have issues with it. So it's very flexible. It's really good. I just got it off Amazon. It's the only place that sells, that I know of, that at least in America, that sells this stuff. As far as like these big bundles. can't really find this stuff in the stores, like the specialty silicone 6-core and stuff. Going back through, make sure my sides are down. I don't know why I just blew on the iron, ignore it. Alright, so now these will gently go this way, and again, we'll do like I did on the other side. We're going to take some hot glue and hold these down, because, let me just get it turned on so it's out of my way. We'll move these up here. Just to help hold this stuff down so it's not flailing around either. Because again, that's where you'll get your wire breaks. So try to keep it kind of tight how it's going. Not tight, but I mean keep it held down. That's what I meant. Alright, we got glue. Now, if you want to know where I got this at, I got it from Amazon as well. Keep it nice on there. Just rub it on the mat to get the spider webs. Turn it off. Take these spider webs and wait till they dry. I tried to do it early. That's my mistake. Because now I gotta wrap it up all the way up to here. Dang it. I just made more because I touched it. Ah. Oh my goodness, y'all. Don't touch this stuff. Just let it sit. Goodness. Let me take a sip of water for Pete's sake. Adjust my camera a little bit. Alright. Let this cool down. I'm going to press it down a little bit as it's cooling because it was kind of sticking up high. There we go. Alright. Finally, we're good with that. Alright, so remember what we did last time? We just took it and zip tied it up here. I would say let's go ahead and do that, but we need to run these wires. So, let's get this placed like this. Should have just flipped it over and did it. My bad. Alright, hold on. Hold on. Alright, let's get these over here. Okay, let's see. I mean, it's either... This hole makes no sense, because this is the back. Everything's going to the front. So if we put the wires through there, it just would make no sense. So let me see. Like I said, I'm going to see if we can get this. Whoops. Jeez, I got to be careful with these pins. Alright. Let's be gentle. If we do it up here, yeah, it'll be out of the way. So let me get... I think I'm going to need 2. I don't know if 1... Yeah, I'm going to need 2. So we're going to have to be kind of clever with this. Well, I tried. Let's get this under the wires. Okay, let me trim this tail off. I think it's causing problems. Okay. Let's go like this. Okay. Oh no! This is a lot easier said than done. Oh, there we go. Goodness. So now let's zip this down. Get it flush. Let's check our wires. They can still freely move, which is fine. That's not going to hurt anything. We just want to keep them, you know, tracking a certain way. So let's do that. Let's get this one up here. And we will zip tie that up here. Oh, technically we shouldn't do that yet. I apologize, guys. Let me move this out of the way. The good thing is these wires can freely move, so we can kind of move this. We need to put our 12-volt jack in here. Let me go grab that. Is it this? Yes. All right. So we got our 12-volt jack, and this just sits from his pictures in here because you don't need the front pin, you just need the back pin and the side pin. So what we're going to do is we're going to solder the wires on first, black and red, and then we're going to super glue that sucker in there. So let's get some long black and red wires, which for this I'll just pull them out together, kind of match them up. Okay, and then we'll go about right here. It's probably way too long, but again, it's better to be safe than sorry later on. So, cut that, cut that, clean this up just a little bit. Alright, let's go ahead and tin these wires. Oh, let me get my helping hands. Omnifixo is the brand, not sponsored or anything, obviously. I've used it for years. It is the best helping hands system because you can see you can move stuff around. You can actually connect stuff to the like a positive wire to the board and stuff. Like if you were trying to test out electronics, like it's really cool. So what we'll do for this, we'll just put these in there like that. We'll get some solder. And we'll go ahead and tin these wires. Get that one. Oop. That one. I'm going to cut the tips off of those anyways. So, and the reason I'm not putting solder on here is I'm going to use these holes. These holes are going to be part of how we're going to solder this, and I'll show you what I mean. Here they are, my flush cutters. Cut it down. Cut it down. I hope I didn't go too short. If I did, it's alright. We'll just peel some more off. Alright. So, if I'm correct, I think the negative is the back side and the positive is the sides. Pretty sure on that. Let me pause for a second. Let me go look. I just want to make dang sure. Alright, y'all. I went and looked. Okay, I just wanted to make darn sure before we do this. So this part, the pin is positive. The outside right here is negative. So I just wanted to make sure before we start doing this. I've only soldered up, I think, like one or two of these, so I don't know it right off the top of my head, and I'd rather look and make sure. So we will put our positive wire in back here, and we'll get it melted down, and we'll add some more solder to it. But we need to get this melted first. I don't want to keep tapping the back. Actually, you know what we'll do? We'll put that in there, and we'll put some solder on it, because that'll help melt the solder that's already there. Just like that. Just like that. Let it dry. Get that air out. Alright, and we'll do the same for our negative, which is just going to go in this way. We can actually bend that one down kind of with our finger to help hold it in. And again, we'll put some heat on here. We'll start applying the solder. Whoops. Applied it a little early. As you can see, that's why it fell off like that. There we go. And that is our barrel jack all done. So that's ready to go. Move this out of the way. Now we can move this back up here. Because again, we need to glue this in. Move this stuff out of the way. Alright, we'll move this out of the way. And now we'll take some super glue. Maybe. Jeez Louise. We'll take our pliers to the super glue. Good Lord. There it goes. Sheesh. And we'll put it on this. We'll just put it straight on the jack. Put a little bit over here. And what we're going to do is we're going to get it in there all the way butted up. Just like that. Just like that. And it's already super glued in. This stuff moves, I mean, it dries so quick. Or sets, I should say, so quick. But there we go. Now we have our 12-volt power. That was hillbilly, wasn't it? 12-volt power supply. Now that's not for your LEDs. That is strictly for... Wrong way. We almost pulled those out. That is strictly for our... that is strictly for our motor, our stepper motor. Okay, so we need to remember that. That's not for anything other than that. Now we'll take these, push them all up here, and we'll take our zip tie. Wait, where's my... Yeah, they're all up here. Okay. So even the wires for the 12 volts are up here. So this is where labeling is going to come in place. And actually, you know what? We're going to do that, like I was telling you guys, because this is going to get super confusing if I don't. And the last thing you want to do is wire like a 5-volt sensor to a 12-volt power supply. So we'll take this, make sure it is those wires, and then we'll just take this on here. This is what I mean by make a label. So there we go. So now I should have a pen out here. Well, I thought I did. I'll have to go grab one then. Jeez, I move so much stuff around. Alright. Now we will go right here, which this is our potentiometer. And we'll go towards the end. I know you can't see it, but I'm going towards the end of the wires. And we'll do that. Which actually I can just kind of remember this. The short tape is the potentiometer. The unlabeled is our rotary encoder. And then the long one is just with 2 wires as well. It's going to tell me what that is, which that's the 12 volt. Get this out of the way. And now we'll take our zip tie. We'll come over here. And we will zip all of these up. Again, move this kind of off to the side to get it straight. Tighten it up. And cut it flush so you don't have anything hanging. If you have to, let me find my potentiometer wires because they're a little loose. There we go. Pull these ones tight. And now what we're going to do is we're going to lift this up. We're going to start looking, making sure none of our wires are going to interfere with anything. What is happening there? Why is that? The most random spot for the gears to kind of get stuck. It's only in that spot. There we go. These are good. I'm sorry, I'm looking in here. I'm just looking down in here, as you can see, trying to make sure none of this stuff is going to interfere with our wires, and our wires aren't going to get cut or hurt. And it doesn't look like it. We'll look in this way. Nope. So that's good. So, and then our potentiometer is nowhere near being touched. We'll take our flush cutters, cut that flush. And now we will put some screws in here because I'm tired of it flip-flopping all over the place. So this wall is actually completely done, so I'm actually just going to go ahead and completely secure it back together because we have completely wired this one up. So that's what I would suggest you do on this one. Oh, one thing I apologize, I'm wrong. Because of these M4s, you will actually have to take this apart or leave it together like this and just do it by hand on this side, because we didn't put together super permanently our other wall, so we might just do that. But let's go ahead and get this put together. And we're basically going to rebuild this whole thing now, and we're going to make darn sure that our wiring is not going to be in the way. We need to run our handle wires down and make sure they're good. I mean, our disconnect wires, so that's all that's for, is just for the disconnect buttons, which are just 2 wires to run those. So nothing crazy. Plus, we need to be able to connect our disconnect, or not our disconnect, geez Louise, our drive connector here as well. So this goes in the front. We'll get our whole kit up here. Now you can start seeing it come together nice. Looks really good. So everything looks good. I don't see anything where it would be interference. All the wires are cleanly out of the way. And again, we did some extra work over here, but that's fine. The zip tie is there, but this isn't going to cause any issues, even though it's sticking out because of how far. It's not sticking out above this, so this shouldn't cause any issues, which we will check here in a second to make sure that it doesn't cause any issues. All of that's good. All of these are good. Man, that thing is so stiff with that motor on there. Phew. I'm going to have to double check that side though, like I said, because this side's not that stiff. I know it doesn't have a motor on it, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see. So that looks good. I'm just looking down in here, as you can see, just to make sure all of that is good. That's all good. So yeah, that looks great. Let's go ahead and build this a little bit. We'll put our levers in here and just make darn sure everything is good. So let me take my 2 self-tappers out. Take that out. Take this one out. And the only thing we're going to run through here is going to be our, whoops, geez, that's heavy with that motor on there. Will be our 6mm all thread with these bearing spacers in there. So let me get my levers and let me get my other bearing spacer out. Where's my other bearing spacer? Okay, it must be up here somewhere. All right. It's the left side, so we'll get it in. All right, now we'll take this one and put it on. Whoa, buddy. Make sure it goes kind of all the way in. Oh, you know what I'm forgetting to do? Goodness. We need to put our spacers in here. Sheesh. But see, that's why I didn't put that wire. I didn't connect it to the motor because I knew we were going to be taking this apart quite a bit. Alright, so we need our small spacer and our big one for this side. And then for the right side, we need our small one and our a little bit thicker one. Which, let's make sure none of these are the same. No. I think these two are. Yeah, these two are. So I printed the second one because I knew that the big one that he has in there I don't think is right. So again, smaller one goes on the inside. Push that in. Go ahead and put this on. Get it kind of in where it needs to go. We'll put the middle wall in. Oh, jeez Louise, y'all. We'll put our spacer on and then the wall, so that way this kind of all holds together better. Well, maybe not. With this motor in here, why is this not wanting to sit appropriately? Okay, so I'm wrong. There it goes, finally. Where is that other spacer? Oh, that's for a different project. There it is. So maybe it is this thicker one that goes in here. We're going to find out here in a second. This can engage barely with its... Well, see, but then that pushes it too far out. That is not correct. Hold on. We just put this thing together yesterday. I don't know why it's being so stubborn all of a sudden today. Okay, that's in the grooves. Now this should be the spacer. We'll put this on. Interesting. I don't remember this causing issues yesterday though, because we had that wall on there. So why is it all of a sudden today giving us issues? Because we're touching the spacer, but now we're not inside up here. Well, I guess we are, actually. I apologize. I feel like this is not correct. Why is that so weird with the motor? Let me see something here. This is really throwing me off. Because we just built it yesterday and it was fine. Why are all of a sudden... Oh, well, daggum. Put the screws in. Well, that's me. All right, cool. Somehow you put the screws in and now it all buttons up. Now when you do this, see how this flips out? If you go backwards, it's going to push it out. So you got to be careful. Same thing when you go all the way back. So just be really careful. Let me get my right lever, which is sitting over here. And this one, I believe, goes... I believe it's the white one. Or is it this black one? I know I literally just put this together yesterday. I'm having such bad brain farts today for some reason. Oh, there's my other one. My other sleeve, by the way. Oh, my hand. Put this on here. That fits in good. And we'll put this one on. Maybe. There it goes. Let's check our potentiometer. We'll go all the way back. Up a little bit. Let me get my bearing sleeve in here. Whoop. So many wires coming out of this side. It's wild. So... Why are you being so stubborn today? You butthead. Oh, daggum. See what I'm saying about these things not wanting to sit in there right sometimes? What is going on now? I put the washers on backwards. Let go, dude. Sheesh. Thicker side goes inside. All right, let's remember that. I'm talking to myself on this. All right, let's put this one on. Oh, again, I did it. There we go. There it goes. It slips right in the middle. Put this guy on. And then we'll put this on with our bearing carrier, our bearing sleeve. There it goes. Get in there. There it goes. Okay, now we're all together. Whew! This is a project, clearly. All right, let's check our wires. Let's get everything moved up here. So, one thing we are doing is we're going to move the left one. Oh, all right, found a problem. My zip tie. My zip tie is causing interference on this left side. So we're going to go ahead. Oh, and plus it's actually in the way of the screw hole. So that's actually okay because these are out of the way. So let's see. Okay. It's all the way forward. I'm not hearing anything or seeing anything. This is kind of hard to show. Whoa. But what was happening is I put the zip tie right there, which actually was a bad idea. And it was coming down, this piece right here was coming down and hitting it. Oh, actually, I just thought about this. It's going to do the same thing on this right side. So, that's on me, guys. Let's cut that one off as well. Let me get it out of the way. And so what we're going to do is we're not going to go behind the walls like I thought. We're going to go in between these walls. So again, like I said, that's on me, guys. Let's go ahead and grab these. Boom, just like that. All right, cool. And so now these will come forward, which is where everything needs to go. It needs to all come out this way. So these are good. These are good. Let's double check everything. Let's just gently move it. See, we don't have the detents in there, so it's not going to kill us to move this sometime. So that's good. Make sure we push down on the back side of this piece. That's good. And then let's go full reverse. Yep, nothing is interfering at all. Ah, man, dang, that thing is sharp. Shoo. Okay, so we are good to go on all of this. Potentiometer, or the encoder is not in the way. Sorry, I'm looking down in here, just trying to make sure. you're really going to want to make sure you really look down in here and make sure your wires are up out of the way, which the 2 zip ties I did, this double zip tie right here is perfectly fine. That's not going to interfere at all. It is completely out of the way, and it is actually like working exceptionally well to keep all of our rotary encoder wires out of the way, which those are the bigger ones that we were worried about because they got to come such a far distance up here to the front. So it keeps them up above the potentiometer and everything. So that's perfect. That is what we want. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this thing apart and I'm going to completely build it because I am ready. Man, dang, look at that. That's how friggin' sharp that thing is on that end. Shoo-wee. I'm okay, though. Obviously, that ain't nothing. The only thing I left out, and I apologize, which I will fix right now, is the wires for the disconnect buttons. So we'll go ahead and get those through. Excuse me, because they all need to come this way as well. So let's take this wall off. We know this wall is good. Again, these 2 zip ties up here for the rotary encoder. Oh my gosh, excuse me. For the jeez Louise, I apologize, y'all. For the rotary encoder are good, or is good. They're not gonna affect anything. And we can always just double check while we're looking. Yeah, they're up out of the way. They're nowhere near the gears. They're nowhere near the gear screws. So we are good to go. So that's good. That's really good. That's what we want. So now we'll pull this off. Come on, little guy. And we'll pull the left lever off. Pull this off. Pull the middle wall. Oh, I gotta unscrew it. I'm gonna take all this off because I'm gonna start putting this thing together. Ready to go for testing. So I'm actually gonna take wall 1 off as well. Take it apart and see why those gears are being so goofy. And also, I think I need, like I said, I think I need to trim that down. Oh, I don't need to trim the other one down. It's actually not in the way. I'm just looking at it on wall 5. So let's get this out of the way. Take this off. Take eventually this off. Take this spacer off. Take all this out. All right, let's move this stuff out of the way. So I need to see why. Is it because these walls are flared out? No, that is just really, really stiff. So let's take this wall apart. Okay. So again, this is some stuff that you want to really check out. Make sure this stuff is, you know, frictionless. It's not causing any issues. It's not getting stiff like that is, which that again might just be the motor, but I can move the motor a lot easier by hand. I mean, look at that compared to how this was just moving. It's got some funky stuff. Oh, there it goes. That gear's a little funky, but it's okay. Oh, you know what? This is so super loose, though. So let me take this apart. I might need to put a different... I think I need to put a different nylock nut in there. And I might need to... No, that's actually underneath. So I might need to print this gear again. Let me see if I can get this nut out. Fingers crossed we can get this nut out. Let me get... I think I have some punches in my toolbox. Wrong drawer. Because if I can get the nut out, I don't have to worry about reprinting this. Oh, there we go. I got it. Whew! I was able to do it with my hand with the punch. Oh, yeah, this nut is completely destroyed. So that's why it wasn't securing well at all. Let's see, do I have an M5 lock nut up here? Looks like I actually do. Let's make sure this one's good. Yeah, it's good. Alright, where's the screw? Over here. I just heard my washer go somewhere. Yeah, there it is. Alright, let me set this out of the way real quick. Oh, cheebers. Let's get this on here. Let's go back through. You know what? Oh, there it is. Let me put some grub screws in here. I mean, he designed it for it. Let's actually do what he designed it for. So let me get some M3x6 grub screws, my favorite size. And we're just going to screw this bad boy in here. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, these 6 should be good. Just try to keep it straight so it goes straight in there. Alright. I'm just going to do 2. I see there's like 4 holes. I don't think we need all 4. 2 should just be more than enough, hopefully, right? You'll know pretty quick, though. There we go. Whoop. Get this in here. Ooh, that is nice and tight. Alright, just get a little bit more. And we'll go straight across. And this just keeps this bolt in here without super glue. It allows it to be removed later and stuff, so. There it goes. This thing did not want to sit in there for a second. Whoa. But yeah, when I got that other nylock nut out, it was like, it had some pieces shredding off of it. It was weird. So that's tight. Let's make sure. Just give it a little bit. I'm not going crazy. Make sure that's good. Put this one in. Yeah, see, that sits down a lot better too. Okay. Now, we'll get our washer on. We'll go through this side, put another washer on. And then we can put this together. I'm only twisting the left side. I mean, you can do the right side if you want, but I'm only twisting the left. It feels a lot better. We're in the nylon as well. Let me take my flush cutters real quick. There's a little lip. Cut that off. These little flush cutters are great. Yeah, that cut that off. Now that's spinning a lot better. Let me get this. Yeah, it's still stiff. It's stiff because of the motor, but that is so much better. That thing was horrible before. All right. One thing we're going to do as well while I'm over here is we're going to take some more, if I have them up here. So we're going to take 2 more M3x6 grub screws. If I can get stuff out of the way. Told you I got a lot going on up here. And we're going to take, I'm going to get 4 of them actually. I'm going to get them all ready. And we're going to take our connector, basically our transfer gear connector, and we're going to get this put together. So, again, we're going to have to take that outside wall apart for the other side, which is fine. So let me get these in here. You can, oh, sorry. So you can kind of line the hole up just like this, but you'll know when you start going in, if it gets like tight on the outside like it just did, or actually no, I got it. Okay. Again, we're not going crazy. We're just getting them in there, flushing it up, and then looking down in there if you can. It's easier said than done, just to make sure that's not coming out. So we're going to put the other one on, twist it around to the outside so it's easier to put on, and just screw these in. Because you're just going through this little bit of plastic into here just to keep this secure. You know, you're not worried about it being tight or anything like that. You're just getting that in there, getting it snug, and making sure it doesn't move, and then you can check all your stuff. So these are all good. These are good. That's good. That's good. That's good. Okay, so now we can put our outside wall on, just like this. There we go. And now for me, because I think that's it. I'm wrong. I apologize. Put your M4 screws in. Your M4 all thread in. Which actually I think needs to get threaded on a little bit more. So let me find my wrench. I believe, no, it's the 7. Here it is. And I believe I have a 7 inside. Let me go grab it real quick. Oh, I don't need it. Never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about. I just need to do it with my hands. It's the all thread. Goodness. I'm going to thread this on here just a little bit more. I want it to come through the nylon. Alright, just a little bit for now. Once we start putting this all together, we need to secure it together. We're going to have to, or we will see. Ow, man, dang, that hurt. Let me kind of go towards the middle because we know we're not going to need the threads there. We just need it on the ends. Alright. Woo! Yeah, that's okay. Let me hold on to it. Sheesh, these pliers. Oh, it's pushing the nylon out. I don't like that. That's interesting. Why is it pushing the nylon out? Just gonna squeeze really hard. There it goes. It's still in the nylon. It pushed some of it out. But that's not coming off on its own without tools. Alright, so let's push these through. Just like that. So those are good. They're actually about even on the other side still. Now we'll put our outside wall on. So wall 1. Oh, get this through. Alright, and now we will put all of our wall screws in because this is getting ready to go. Screw this in. Alright, get this one in. Alright, just going to go all the way around, put all of these in. I'm going to put my 6mm all threads on the sides that hold the spacers in, and we're going to get the spacers in and stuff as well. I need one more for this side. Whoa. Oh, dadgummit. Ay, ay, ay. So I forgot on these to put the LED humps on here. Dang it, I'll show you what I mean. We do need to put those on first before, because like I said, I'm trying to put this thing together pretty much to be done with it. Not in a like negative way or anything, but I want it to be starting to be complete, to where we don't have to keep taking it apart again, right? All right, let me take that off. All right, so you need these. Let me get both of them so I don't forget. Plus I got to get all other stuff. So these sit on the outside right here, and this is where your LEDs will go underneath your white trim indicator. And so let me get these self-tapping screws out. Okay. And he put 5 holes, but like he said, you really only need 3. Get off my screwdriver. So we're just gonna put 3 in, because yeah, I mean they're just walls to hold LEDs. I mean, my goodness. If you want to put all 5 in, put all 5 in. If you don't, you don't. I'm not going to, because again, it's not anything structural. Like as far as, you know, like putting the walls together. It's just for the LEDs underneath. Alright, perfect. So that's good. Okay, now, I don't know how many times we've done this. We're going to put these dang walls together. And they're going to stay together. Hopefully, right? I'll probably come up with something and be like, dang it. Let's check our gears. Everything is good. Right. Go up here. I'm going to put all 5 in, but I'm kind of doing this like this to get this thing secured all the way around. Should have done it the first time, but it's okay. Practice, 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 right? That's what this repetition is. Practice and taking this thing apart. So if something goes wrong in the future, you know how to do it. At least I will, for sure. But that's why we're making these videos, too, so that way everybody has this for the future. Dead in there. Get this one in. Okay, I'm going to stand this up, because those M4 all thread keeps poking my belly. Okay, let's get this in. Okay. Lord willing, we're not taking this thing apart. Let me get my spacers. Let's start getting them up here. Okay, we're not worried about that stuff right now. That's trash. That's trash. Alright, do we have any spacers over here? No. Yes, right here. Okay. We're gonna need that. Excuse me. None of that right now. Okay. So we can actually put these through here just to help give us some more stability as well. So there we go. Now we'll put our main all thread through. We'll take some spacers and put these in here. These are the skinny ones. Remember? They go in here. Whoa. Just like that. Golly, I can't wait till that's doing that instead of bowing out like it is. Alright, we'll take our other one. Oops, gotta flip it. Put it through. Whoa! Almost dropped it. Alright. Now, we'll put our big spacers on, because these are next. Okay. Put this one on down here. Whoops, I put it on backwards. This one on down here. Move our wires out of the way. Okay, now we put our middle wall. Oh, if I knew where, you know, there it is. Let's put this on. Let's put all of these rods through. Let's get these M4 rods through. Whoa, there we go. Maybe. There we go. Oh my gosh, guys. If you see what I did, you're probably laughing your butts off. Okay. Let's put our lever on first. Jeez Louise, man. All the way back. Come forward about that far. Oh my goodness, that is too funny, y'all. That is too funny. Alright, that's in there. Let's put this on. Now, we can put our wall on. But what we're going to do while we're doing this is, let me get these M4s in and then I'll tell you. There it goes. Alright, what we need to do is we need to plug in our stepper motor. Just like that. That's why I gave excess. Why are you being so stubborn now? Okay, that's in, that's in. Let me put these in, because apparently it wants to be a butt. Okay. Let me get these in. Okay. Now, it's looking good. Obviously, this stuff's kind of messed up because it's bowed out, but oh my gosh, you know what we just forgot? I'm not frustrated, guys. It's hilarious. It's like, good, I told you I'd forget something again, but that's okay. I'm not speaking negativity over myself or nothing. It's goofy. It's just funny. So what we're gonna do, actually what I'm gonna do, unplug the stepper motor. Let's get this out of the way. So I actually reprinted my buttons because I didn't realize that it's supposed to be 8.5 millimeter. Why in the world are we all wrapped up here? How in the world? There we go. I didn't realize there was supposed to be an 8.5 in there. So I put a 5.8 in there. Actually, you know what? I might just leave those because they're already made. Let me see how they look, though. Let me look at something. So, these are made, incorrectly. But let's see how far out that button is. Actually, that button, you know what? I mean, you have to really want to press it. I'm not hating that. You know what? I'm going to leave it. Because they're already made, and two, they don't look bad. Oh, actually, I'll show you guys this too, how to put these tops together. Okay, so let's get our wire ready. I twist mine together. You're going to go in this top hole and go down. Hopefully. Maybe. Hold on. It's kind of a pain to feed these in here, but I mean, it's got to go like this. Hold on. Let's take this off so we can do this together. So these are going to come out down here. So they're going to come out of the way, which is good. But you might have to just slowly feed them like this, just a little bit at a time, until they get down there. There we go. I think I pushed past whatever was blocking me. Yep, I did. Okay, see how it comes out? Then take it and just pull that sucker through. Don't yank it, but pull it through. And then take your disconnect housing and get it in there. You're going to have to kind of do this at the same time. You want to make sure it's lined up. Oh, dang it, my wires got messed up. Hold on. It worked before and it'll work again. Just hold on. So it's kind of finicky with how it wants to. There it goes. Okay. So see what I'm saying? You kind of got to play with it just a little bit. Okay. So now we're going to take an Jeez, of course everything's going to fall apart now. We're going to take an M3 by 6 millimeter grub screw. We're going to start in this cover. Get it going. Try to get it in there straight. There it goes. It walked itself in straight because I was kind of going in crooked. All right, we're going to get it up to where it's flush. Whoa. With the edge right here on the inside. Just like that. And now we're going to try to line these up visually. Oh. I told you, it's kind of hard. We might have to bring it out. Yeah, so bring it out some and then, whoa, it's not going to go down. Thankfully, you know, it's not going to go down past it. But just should be right there. See, I didn't get it because now I'm pushing up. Let's see. All right, that should be it. Let me kind of try to get this in here. All right, let's see. All right, whoa, you don't want to do it too crazy. All right, so now that's in. We're going to take the back side, and we need an M4 by 10 screw. I thought I brought some out here. I apologize. Oh, my goodness, y'all. Jeez Louise. I'll review that and make sure it's good still. You were looking at me instead of what we were doing. I apologize. Let me go grab my screws. M4 by 10s. Oh, it's an M5. Here we go. All right. So we got our M4 by 10s. You just need 2 of them because we're just doing 2 handles. If you're doing 4, you're awesome. And you just screw these into the barrel. And it just all should pull together. Whoa. Might do longer than a 10. No, that's not moving that much. Okay. So see, that's how my buttons are. So you kind of have to want to push them. So I might change these out for the 8.5s. But we'll see. I mean, it's still going to work. You're just going to, yeah, it still works even if you press with your thumb. Okay. All right, let's get back to building this. Oh, we're all caught up over here. All right, let me move this out of the way, move this out of the way. Now, with that, we have to figure out how we're going to route that around. Because it's not normal and it has to be able to move with the handle. So, your wires are definitely going to need to be long. It's going to have to go up in the track, I think, up here as well. Let's take a look, because it can't go this way. It's going to cause problems. Hold on, we done lost a whole screw in a wall. Or a spacer. Well, we lost 2 spacers. Dang it. Where is... There it is. How did it... World did it end up over there? Okay. Whoop. Daggum. Sorry, y'all. It's a lot to put this thing together. Okay. Get your butt. There we go. Whew! Okay. Hold on. I've got wires everywhere. Let me just bring these up. Okay. Let's do this. Whoops, I knocked those over. Okay. Alright, let's see how we're going to do this with these. So, yeah, I mean, they can go up here and then out the front. But you can't... How is that going to work? Because you can't secure them down. Why are you being so stubborn? Okay. Oh, because it's not sitting anywhere near... Oh my gosh. Pain in the butt cheeks. Alright. Let's see. How in the world are we going to route these to not be in the way? Let me see if he has anything in this documentation to show that, because that's going to be tough. Yeah, he shows the disengage and the encoder are actually supposed to be going through the middle. The way I did the potentiometer, I like, or the encoder, I like better. But so this is supposed to go through the middle along with the other one. But how in the world does that work? Because why do you keep doing that? Goodness. Anyways, if we go through the middle, how do we secure this up here but give it room to move? Y'all, we're problem solving in real time here. So it needs to have room to move all the way back here, which isn't that far, and then all the way up here. So if we run it up here, how in the world do we do this to where it won't screw with or come out in here and get involved? Unless it just goes out the hole. Does it just go out the hole like that? Let's see. Okay. Okay, M6 buttheads. Thread that on some. Get these out of the way. That out of the way because it doesn't belong. Get all this out of the way. Okay. So let's see if we Hold on, though. There we go. Stepper motor wire was being in the way. Alright. Jeez Louise. Okay, so if we do this and we just go out the front, is that not going to interfere at all? It doesn't look like it. Because, I mean, if you keep it pulled up here, you just need to know how much you... Come on, man, with that. But see, then it doesn't get in there, but it gets friggin' close. Do we maybe... I think maybe put a zip tie right here to catch them out of the way. At least keep them out of the way. Give them some slack. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? We'll do like a double zip tie right here to keep them out of the way. And see if that's going to cause any issues. I need to do both though. So let's get our other spacers on here. These are the medium-sized ones. Schmedium. All right. Now we will get our right lever. We'll do our white spacer, which goes in here. Oh, I need to attach this wall. Oh. No, I don't. I need to figure this out first. Okay, I apologize, guys. My brain's running a million miles an hour right now. Hoping that this is going to work for us. So again, let's take our wires. I don't care what they look like on the ends because these are just meant to help us guide down through here. We'll go through this hole again on this side. We'll just slowly, this one's actually going a lot better. Slowly push them in there. I jinxed myself. Just get them pushed in, which thankfully they are going in. There it is. I can see them coming out the other side. There we go. Maybe. There we go. All right, now we'll pull down and we will try to line this up. There we go. To where we can get in there. And I will go grab my other button caps, because I brought them in here earlier to test. But I'll bring these out here for you guys to see and tell me what you think. Whoa, I just accidentally whipped the button out of that one. My bad. Alright, so what do you guys think? You can tell me. This is the 8.5 millimeter button. See, it sticks out pretty far compared to mine, which are kind of in the handle. I don't know. We'll see. I might do these. These feel a little bit better too, but it's not important right now. Because even if I wire this up, it's not that hard to take it all apart. Let's get our M6 by 3 millimeter grub screw. Our M3 by 6 millimeter grub screw. We'll go in here. Try to go in straight. With the paint on there, it's kind of a pain. There it goes. Alright. And what we're doing is we're going to get this in here to get it kind of flush on the inside. That's actually a little out, my bad. Just like that. We'll take it and line it up with this hole right here. Excuse me. Goodness, man. My dinner is making me burp. I apologize. Whoop. And then we're going to try to line this up. It's kind of just got to go based on what you kind of feel in there. There we go. I think that's in. So you saw I could twist. Let me see. Is that in or is that being weird? I think I missed. Actually, I apologize. Because that is kind of crooked. And it shouldn't be crooked. It should... Ow! Shoot. It should line up. Let's see. Oh, I think now it sat itself in there. Maybe it wasn't down enough. Let me push this out, though, so it's easier to work with. And we're just kind of getting it in there. Doesn't need to be anything crazy. Just so it doesn't move. Work it in there. So those wires line up with the path. And then it should... These should fit flush. Why is that not wanting to sit flush? Oh, I didn't get the hole. I apologize. I didn't get it, actually. Let me just take this out. Sorry, I'm really close to the camera. I'm standing up. My stool is not the most comfortable. Okay, let me just completely take this off. Because we're clearly not getting the hole. Oh, no, goodness. We definitely got next to it. Okay, so now let's try to actually get the hole. That's it. Because that just was so easy. So now we should be good. Ooh, actually, you know what we need? We need a 10 millimeter on these. Because that is way in there for this 6. So let me grab a 10 and put it in here. So my bad, using M3 by 10. Because that 6 was nowhere near long enough. It was actually way in there. Way too far in there. Put that up there. Actually put this up there. Sorry, I'm moving stuff so I don't knock it off the workbench. So let me grab 2 of these. 2 of the 10s. Alright. Now we'll put a 10 in there because that was way too short. Alright, let's lift this up. It looks like it moved a little bit, but that's okay. We'll get lined back up with it. Okay. So we're kind of lined up right there. Yeah, we're good. Okay. We're in. So we'll get this in flush. And that's actually nice and tight too. Not going anywhere. Alright, so now, let me sit down. Alright, so now, whoa, our wires kind of went everywhere. We'll take it and pull the wires through gently. We'll get this lined up with its sleeve in here. Pull the wires through, and now we're flush. And we will take, that's an M4 by 10. Let's try a 20. Because I feel like the 10 wasn't long enough. In this, the first one. So let me try a 20. It might seem excess, but honestly, you want it to be nice. That's not it. Oh, it's up here. Thought it ran away. It might seem excess, but you want this to be able to get snug. Snug, so it's not spinning. Let's get this in there. I can't tell. I think we... Did we bottom out? I think we bottomed out with it. Shoot. So, okay, so 20's too long. Huh. Well, we might just have to stick with the 10 for now. Have to get some different screws. So we'll stick with the 10 for now. Just to keep progress moving. Because we want to make sure we get this done. Yeah, it moves a little bit. But that's okay. It's not going to move when you're moving it. At least hopefully it shouldn't. Okay. So that's good. Oh yeah, I'm testing. We're trying to see about this. If we were to, well, where would I put these wires? Because if it goes back, I mean, there's the spacer there, but yeah, I mean, it does leave space for wires, technically. So if we go this way, let's see. Sorry, y'all, we're kind of trying to figure this out together. Here they are. Let me pull them through out of my way. There we go. And now we need to get them up here through this center hole. Whoa. So you just kind of got to guide them up here. Try to get them in there, which I'll start moving this apart again. You see what I'm saying? You gotta be careful, man. These dang throttle lever dust guards are kind of brutal sometimes. Alright, let me move this stuff out of the way so I can get my wires fed. Okay. So, I hope you see what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get them through this front hole. Way easier said than done, I'll tell you that right now. Sheesh. Let me move these wires down. You just got to get them in there. So my suggestion would be not do that. My suggestion would be is when you do the first two, the left side, leave them out until you get this one on here if you can. To try to get these in there. There we go.